Guys, it is an absolutely beautiful day here in San Antonio, Texas. And we're going to talk about, give you our assessment of this past weekend's festivities, as well as the recently announced Janabek Ali Manala versus Erzlani Lada. Oh, what a barn burner that's going to be. That's going to be the co-main event of Pitbull Cruz versus Lamont Roach Jr. We're going to talk all about all of this and more on the latest edition of WaraWeek Boxing.
Vashon Holdings proudly presents WaraWeek Radio Chats with ring announcer Joseph Herron.
Guys, welcome. Happy Monday to all of you guys. I hope you guys had a very excellent start to your work week today. I know I did. A lot of things got done. And look, before we actually get started, I just have to tell you guys, it's shocking how many people are both crapping on and both celebrating Jaron Boots Ennis' most recent performance over Uisma Lima this past Saturday night at the Wells Fargo Center, the very empty Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, PA. Guys, and once again, that's not Ennis's fault. And we're going to tell you the pros and cons and what we think, right, here at WaraWeek Boxing, or at least what I think right now. And guys, I do have to give this disclaimer. We usually are featuring on Monday night, usually featuring Rick Glazer, but he's not going to be available, to the dismay of Eddie Hearn. He's not going to be available until tomorrow night. So we're going to go live tomorrow night with Rick, right? But guys, let's start things off, though, with this. This is like, it's been shocking, actually. Guys who should know better are, well, they're getting up in arms and they're celebrating over this piñata party that Jaron Boots Ennis had in Philly. And boy, did he look tremendous. And if you know what you're looking at in the ring, yeah, he looked great. But at the same token, we're getting a lot of people who are crapping on this. Who's right? Who's right and who's wrong, guys? What are your thoughts? Tell me what you thought in the comment section, what you thought of this event on Saturday night in Philly. And while we're doing that, guys, we're going to do another edition of this.
Terrible fan takes on Twitter/X.
Let me know when you guys can see this. Yeah, I guess we're up now. This is just bad, guys. Like, fans, I don't like, and Steve Kim just stated something that, oh, you know, it's obvious that promoters and fighters don't care about their fans any longer. Well, That's and we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about why. Because it doesn't do any good, and we'll get to that in a second. Here we go, guys.
Turkey's told him, come back and want to talk when you want to make big fights. Till then, just keep fighting your Karens and your Limas and all that. Jerron Ennis don't want to see no parts of Devin Haney. If he think Karen is his toughest fight to date, shit, Haney will put that fucking jab on his ass and start going to work and touching him up when he jumping up and down. Because all he do is jump up and off the ground and shit like he playing basketball. Ennis ain't fucking with no Devin. Devin too sharp for him. Devin jab and Devin ability to move, and he's struggling with Karen. We know Jerron struggles with cutting off the ring. Both Ennis and them need to go back to the drawing board when it comes down to mastering footwork. And that's the problem Mr. Jerron Boots Ennis has, is his feet. As athletic as he is, he's still quite flat-footed as well, too. And he's going to get exposed, like I keep telling you guys.
Like, that's... Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that. That's... And then people wonder why the promoters and the fighters really don't give two shits about the fans today, right? One, they're not paying for anything. They're definitely not subscribing to the zone, but they're still watching. They're watching, and because it doesn't cost them a dime, they're shitting all over everything. Every single one of these fighters and these fights. Yeah. Devin Haney. Yeah, I don't that doesn't even deserve a comment, really. I just had that. I had to show that. That's wow. That's a genuine terrible fan take. So we're gonna do another one, guys, from our friends. This is a former WBO champ, Chris Algieri. Actually, it was very shocking. And then we're going to address all of this, right? It's Can you say you don't know much about this business without saying you don't know much about this business? This is what he had to say, guys. Let me see. Can you guys see this? All right, here we go.
I just want to give my flowers to Eddie Hearn, who's being an actual promoter. Promoters don't promote. It's such a misnomer, but Eddie's doing a fantastic job of actually promoting his man. So I think he's been really chomping at the bit for this kind of victory from Ennis so he can scream from the rooftops, I have the best fighter in the world.
I could tell that Eddie is extra motivated now with Dana White in the fold. And a year ago, he had a way different tone about Dana. They were respectful toward each other. Not anymore. But Dana does not look as competition
Dana's
for Eddie.
We need the competition between these promoters.
Well, that's why I don't want this monopoly to come through.
It's exactly my point. Without competition, it becomes a monopoly.
Yeah,
and
man,
then
these guys
you're getting fed whatever they want to give you. I just want to give.
Okay, guys, you know what? That's just shocking, guys. That's just shocking. Oh my gosh. Yeah, slide encounter. You've got that right, brother. Welcome to the show, sir. And if any of you guys want to join me, the link is live. So, Z Pacino, good to see you, my friend. Eric Gomez, good to see you too. Look. Let's just start with the Dan Canobio, Chris Algieri delusion, right? Eddie Hearn. Oh, he's just give my flowers to Eddie Hearn. He's doing a fantastic job. Really? Is that why he's fighting Usman Lima this past Saturday? Because he's doing a fantastic job? Look, you can shout from the rooftops that you've got the best fighter. But your primary job, and this is what Rick Glazier was reporting. And we told you guys this. We were wondering, why is Jerron Boots Ennis signing with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Sport? And this is when he was at 47. I'm like, wait a minute. He doesn't have any fighters at 47. What fights is he going to get him? And because he didn't have any fighters, he had to pay through the nose to get him a Montestanionis. Who else did he fight? David Avanesian? Karen Chikatsian? Now Usman Lima? Guys, part of your job as a promoter is to get the fights. And because he baited Jerron Boots Ennis with a $3 million rock guarantee, That doesn't leave very much headroom for anyone else. That's why afterwards he was saying, oh, well, we hope that these other fighters are ambitious because it's going to cost an awful lot of money to get them in the ring. Wait a minute. You had the problem. You couldn't get them the opponents at 47. And then we move up to 54. You're having the same issues, buddy. Why? Because you paid Jaron Boots Ennis too much of a minimum. So, guys, just go back in history. You remember when he was trying to tout Devin Haney as the biggest star of the sport, paying him the same amount, $3 million guaranteed. How successful was he in getting him those fights? He wasn't. How did it turn out? Devin Haney left his ass for greener pastures. Guys, it's going to happen again. Jaron Boots Ennis is going to leave him because he's not going to be able to put the other big names in the ring with him. Guys, we've seen this already. Oh, yeah, Chris Algier. Oh, he's doing a fantastic job as a promoter. No, he's not. First of all, once again, what do we always say on the show? You pay out inflated purses. It makes it virtually impossible to put together the best fights. Because after making millions for soft touches, how much do you think Jaron Boots Ennis is going to demand to get Virgil Ortiz Jr. in the ring? Yeah, that's why we haven't seen it yet, guys. He's trying to build it up into a fight that's going to justify the $10 million combined purse to see this. When neither guy is a huge ticket seller. Guys, did you see how empty the house was this past Saturday? Did you see it? The entire mezzanine was empty. That's why it was so dark. Guys, no one wants to see that crap. And guys, you cannot pull the wool over the fans in Philly. They know what good boxing is. They know what good matchups are. They know what a good fight is. And Luisma Lima, we told you guys, look, if he had trouble and got schooled by Aaron McKenna, what do you think was going to happen with a guy who could actually punch? Slide and counter. To be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing Ennis versus Brandon Adams. Yes, boy, that is a barn burner. I think Adams is savvy, durable, and could give Ennis rounds and stylistically a tough matchup possible. You know what? That is a great job of matchmaking by you. And a guy, Brandon Adams, who's not going to demand the house. But that's not going to happen. Like, I would have loved to have seen that fight this past Saturday, but I know he just got out of the ring in a brutal fight opposite Sergey Boachuk. But that is a great job of matchmaking, slide and counter. That's what I'm talking about. That's part of the job of promoting, guys. Why are we seeing Luisma Lima, a guy who looked like he was just happy to be there? Now, once again, if you know what you're looking at in the ring, you couldn't help but be impressed. Let's be honest. Let's talk about right now. We're going to go back to Eddie Hearn. We got plenty of time for this, guys. We're going to be talking about this for the next hour. Let's talk about Jaron Boots Ennis. If you know what you're looking at, you couldn't help but be impressed with Jaron Boots Ennis. Boy, he came out and made a statement. He wasn't messing around. You don't get paid for overtime. Real Merc has the beat. Ennis don't need no more soft touches after this. He didn't need no soft touches before this. Guys, like, we don't know what we're looking at in the ring. We don't know that Jaron Boots Ennis may be the most talented fighter in the entire world at this time, entering his fighting prime at age 28. Come on. Yoga Flame. Guys, welcome to the show, JumpTube. But look, Jaron, the way he set it up was absolutely beautiful. He stepped around him, stepped to the side. And Luisma Lima was going to try and hit him with a 1-2 down the middle. And he threw that beautifully timed uppercut right in the chin. And that started all the trouble for Ismail Lima. And the hand speed, the athleticism, the accuracy, the footwork. Jaron Boots Ennis said, yeah, okay, I'm gonna stay in the pocket. I'm gonna let you hit me, and I'm gonna crack you with something that you're not gonna see coming, and you're not gonna react well to it. I loved it. I loved everything I saw from Jaron Boots Ennis. It got me genuinely excited for the big fights. But why am I getting excited? Because I know it's not going to happen under Ed Hearn's watch. Why? Guys, it's my pleasure to introduce at this time. Anyone else who wants to join us, please click the link. My nephew, Anthony Manzano. Anthony, how you doing, brother? Happy Monday to you, sir.
Happy Monday to you. This result wasn't shocking me, like I said. Like I said when you guys were previewing, like I said when you were previewing this fight with was it G Funky or James?
It was Big James. Big James. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
guys, hold on. Before you complete your thought, don't forget to tune in tomorrow, guys. We're going to be with Coach Ronnie Shields on Big James channel, the boxing source. Not to be confused with the dim-witted boxing voice. It's the boxing source, right? So tune into us over there, guys. And then right afterwards, we're going to be featuring Rick Glazer on my channel. So as you were, Anthony.
Yeah, no, I said Lima had no chance. Were we surprised how Ennis destroyed this guy?
Yeah. Look. Once again, it was no shock to anyone who knows what they're looking at in the ring. But once again, what's the point? And look, I have no problem with that. But he's run into a real problem. QT, how can you say that? Can't blame Eddie at this point. Yes, we can. One, he already knew he couldn't match him up. He doesn't have any fighters at 47 and 54 who are worth a damn. And you know he's not going to put him in the ring with Conor Benn.
He has an Oscar with Virgil, but he's not going to do that.
No, dude, he doesn't have Golden Boy. These are two separate promotional outfits.
No, but doesn't he have a...
No, listen. He's not the boss at DAZN. He's not the boss at DAZN. Understand that, guys.
I've always assumed he owned DAZN.
Yeah, well, you assumed wrong. So once again, QT, please expound. Why can't we blame Eddie at this point? Why do you think he was fighting Ismail Lima? Because he couldn't get him anyone else. And he painted himself into this corner, giving him a huge $3 million rock guarantee. You can't do that. You overpay fighters just to get them signed, and then what are you going to do with your thumb up your butt? You've got no money left over to get anyone decent in the ring. Guys, because these fighters aren't stupid. They understand, oh, shit, I'm going to be stepping in the ring with Boots Ennis. Yeah, man, I've got to get paid. You're talking about a career-altering challenge. In fighting Boots Ennis, you better pay me, sucker. And Jaron is thinking the same thing. Hey, if I'm getting $3 million rock to fight Ismail Lima, yeah, you better pay me to step in the ring with someone who has a pulse. He did this, QT. Eddie did this. No one else. Eddie Hearn did this. And Boots re-signing to him because he doesn't know any better. He should have stayed a free agent and started doing business with Turki Al-Sheikh. That's what Devin Haney did. Why is Boots going back to Eddie? Because he is a used car salesman. He's full of shit if you haven't already ascertained that. Why is Boots going back to Eddie is what I'm saying. Because he's giving him $3 million guaranteed.
He's overpaying fighters that haven't earned it.
Who's not going to take that $3 million guarantee? Everyone would. But then you're painting yourself into a promotional corner and you can't get anyone worth a damn to fight him. Remember, Boots already coming from litigation. Okay, that was because his promoter died. He wasn't with Showtime. The only litigation was Cameron Duncan died. So Eddie Hearn basically had to pay for the rights. Pay his deceased widow or his widow.
The guy I'm not saying he's worth, like, the guy who he should be what is it called? Doing that money, that but I'm not sure if he has even fighters in that division, is Bam. To be honest, Bam should be the one.
Guys, look. Yes, if anyone deserves to be disgruntled, it's Bam. But look, no one is paying a lot of money for underweight fighters. So in Bam's mind, he's already making more than he could with any other promoter. He's making more now being in the co-main eventers thrown in the prelims. That's what he's going to be doing on November 22nd. He's going to be starting off that monster of a card in Riyadh season. And he's fine with it. Eddie Hearn has no clue what he's doing in the American market.
This is why I feel bad.
Chris Algieri. Well, I want to give him his flowers. He's doing an amazing job. He's actually promoting. What? Brother, you don't know the first thing about promoting. Like, and this is from what? What is this coming from? What are you comparing this to? Guys, Promotions 101. You get your talent the big fights or they'll go somewhere else. Boots Ennis, I'm going to say it now. You're a damn fool because Eddie is...
No, Joe. Hello? Hello? Oh. I can see what you're saying, QT, but let's be honest. Eddie's the worst offender of all these promoters when it comes to overpaying fighters who haven't really earned it. The perfect example is Devin Haney. And I feel he's might be doing this with Boots to an extent.
Man, I thought I was cooking. I was on a roll and everything. Hey, Toby, no, it's when I started doing the British accent of Eddie Hearn. That's what got me.
Eddie got to YouTube and told them to cut you off, Joe.
Well, I will say this, guys. I will say, and you know what? You're right to a certain extent, QT. You can't cry for guys who are being short-sighted with their own career. That's why they have managers. You're right about that. But look, guys, Eddie,
this is where I feel bad for
Eddie. Look. Eddie is writing a check with his mouth that his ass can't cash. That's it, guys. And yes, we're all that way. We just want to see the fights. And this is why I'm so upset about this. Because we're not. So we've already seen this play out, guys, in real time. Look, it's let's just hope that let's just pray, right? Because I've got the best fighter in the world. Let's just pray that these other fighters are ambitious enough to step in the ring with him. And we understand that it's going to cost an awful lot of money. Okay, so what he's saying is, guys, get ready for another event that's going to be thrust on pay-per-view out of necessity because the purses are going to be too steep. And you guys are going to have to pay for it. And it's a fight that shouldn't be anywhere near pay-per-view. He's already setting this. We've already seen it with Devin Haney, Regis Prograis. Devin Haney, Vasil Lomachenko. We've already seen this, guys, how it plays out. And he's doing it again.
Joe, I have a fight for you.
He's doing this.
I have a fight for you and how you think Eddie would promote it. Paulie Malignaggi versus Devin Haney.
I mean, guys, can you think of a better build-up to this fight? You've got Bill Haney, the mouth of boxing, and he's going to go up against the Italian stallion, Paulie Malignaggi from Brooklyn, who's not going to take a back seat. He's going to give as good as he gets. I mean, just the press conference alone is worth the money. Yeah, that's what he would do. And you know what? He'd be able to sell it to a network. Jump Tube has the beat. Abbas Barrow. That's right. And guess what, guys? It ain't going to be worth the money on pay-per-view. He's going to try to sell us Boots Ennis for the WBA title. Listen, the WBA title against Down syndrome Terrence Crawford.
Who the heck is Baruch?
That's it. The guy who was elevated because Terrence Crawford just vacated his title at 54. The guy who looks like Down syndrome Terrence Crawford.
And Joe, this is why I kind of feel bad as a band fan. I feel bad for him a little bit. And I've always said, like, depending on when his contract finishes with Eddie, he should move. Is Oscar any better with fighters in his division?
Yes. But look, I'll tell you what needs to happen. Top Rank needs to hurry up and get a damn TV deal. But look, that's the problem, though, guys. After the Showtime, and we warned you guys that this was going to happen. After Showtime pulled their investment, we said everyone else is going to fall just like dominoes. They're going to see, wait a minute, why are they pulling their investment? Maybe we need to take a look at ours.
ESPN followed.
ESPN followed, and we told you guys that this was going to happen. So now, what is Top Rank left with? No TV dates. DAZN is the only home for boxing, regular boxing. And who watches DAZN other than diehard fans? And how many are subscribing to it? None. They have barely 500,000 subscribers in the U.S. market.
And Joe, this is why I'm saying the only way we can save boxing if Turkey is able to convince Bob Arum to sell him Top Rank, because he has TV deals with USA Network and what is it called?
No. He's got Paramount and Netflix now.
No, he has SmackDown on USA Network.
Dana White?
No.
Talking about Dana White? No, what are you talking about, Anthony?
No, I'm talking about TKO. TKO with
No. Their deal is long gone with USA, brother.
No,
they Paramount and Netflix.
No. Actually, they have SmackDown on USA Network now.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I don't see USA clamoring for boxing. I haven't seen them clamoring for boxing in a very long time. So until that happens, that's just words, Anthony. That's not serious.
You think I'm having way too much faith?
Yes, that's not serious talk. Seriously, okay. Joe, when did Eddie last do a pay-per-view? I can't remember who it was. Let's see. Last time he did a pay-per-view in the States? Was it Regis and Haney?
Did he co-promote the Tyson Fury fight?
No.
No, the AJ fight. The
AJ versus Dubois, that wasn't on pay-per-view, was it?
I believe it was.
Oh, Chingao. Why is a pay-per-view, a UK fight, being shown on pay-per-view in the States? HBO never did that. Showtime never did that. DAZN, why are they doing that? And
Do
I'll
you
tell
think
you why.
streaming is killing sports in general, Joe, as a sports fan yourself?
Yes, of course. It's like, look, if you're dumb enough to pay that kind of licensing fee, you tell them, hey, you know what? I'm not going to pay this licensing fee. It's too much. Bring it down. That was Turkey, not Eddie. Okay, well then what was no, that was Eddie Hearn. That was Eddie Hearn, but it was a Riyadh season event. Toby. Eddie Hearn was a lead promoter on that event. Or was it Frank Warren?
No, it was Frank. It was Frank.
It was Frank Warren. Okay, then it was a Riyadh season event. If it was, because Frank, most people don't know this, but Frank has the contract for all of the UK and Riyadh season events.
I didn't know that.
If
Wow.
it's a Riyadh season event, then he's going to be the lead promoter. The last time in the American market that we saw Eddie Hearn as the lead promoter was indeed a Riyadh season event, and it was in LA, and it was, I think they lost over $15 million.
Yeah, I can't remember what.
Wait a minute, you're right, Toby. AJ versus Dubois was a ring. It was indeed. It wasn't a Riyadh season event. It was a ring card event. It was ring one, wasn't it?
Oh,
and it was last September, wasn't it? September of 2024? Yeah. So the last one where Eddie was the lead promoter was Terrence Crawford versus Madrimov, his guy. And
Eddie,
yeah, it lost a shit ton of money. Yes,
Joe,
Frank is the main promoter with Turkey Al Sheikh. That's right.
Joe, this is an honest question. What, like, after, like, do you think Eddie just coasted, like, has coasted most of his life, like, and he hasn't really taken serious?
No. Look. I'm gonna be honest, guys. Eddie Hearn does until recently, he did a fantastic job cultivating attractions, nurturing attractions in the UK market. And he got too big for his britches and thought he could do the same thing in the American market. Unfortunately, he doesn't know the American market. I mean, this is the guy who paid over $10 million for that piece of trash, Danny Jacobs versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Oh, I remember that fight. Jesus.
Yeah, and this is the same genius who put Bam Rodriguez versus Sonny Edwards in Arizona instead of the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. That's an easy 30,000 fans in San Antonio, guys. And I know this to be true. I work in the San Antonio market. That's it. I think it was Regis versus Devin. And look what a flop that was, selling less than 30,000 pay-per-views. That was miserable, guys.
Joe, do you think Eddie's eventually going to be...
Here, listen, and think about how dismal that undercard was. It was embarrassing, guys.
Do you think Eddie's going to be, like, you know how Lou DiBella became a pariah? Do you think Eddie's eventually going to be frozen out?
Look, if he keeps on doing this and doesn't learn from his mistakes, yes, it's inevitable. Now, once again, while this asshole was overpaying talent in the American market, Frank Warren, the Hall of Famer, invested in the heavyweight division, and he's thriving right now in the UK market. He's got all the cards in Turkey Al Sheikh's favorite division. Look at the fight that he's going to be putting on October 25th. Joseph Parker, Fabio Wardley. Then he's got the future of the heavyweight division in Moses Itauma. It's going to be in a doubleheader with Derek Chisora in December. And they still can't find an opponent. Now, I heard it was going to be Huey Fury, but apparently he wants too much damn money.
Joe, why is it so hard to, when it comes to the divisions? It seems like the heavyweight boxing seems to be the easiest division to promote. Anything under that, it's a struggle. Why?
Because heavyweights, there's heavyweight boxing and there's boxing and then there's heavyweight boxing. Guys, the heavyweights, it's because more often than not, you're going to see a knockout on every level. You're going to see a knockout. And these guys, they fight for the realistic market value. Unless you're Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. And, well, Alexander Usyk has that problem now, too. That's why he didn't fight Joseph Parker. It's like, screw that. Joseph Parker's not a ticket seller, and I know I'm not. So, yeah, I'll be happy to give up my belt. I don't care, guys. Been there, done that. I'm the undisputed badass. That's what I'm saying. Why is DAZN featuring this on pay-per-view? In any market. That's ridiculous, guys.
He's desperate.
Well, this is what happens in Turkey Al-Sheikh. This is why he's doing business with Dana White. He's done the same thing that Eddie Hearn's doing. To attract talent, he's overpaying these fighters. I mean, look what he's paying for something on the undercard like Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. That's a great matchup. We'll see how it plays out, but it looks good on paper. But
Devin has no chance. He has no power.
That piece of shit. Well, look, guys. I mean, that's pay-per-view and it shouldn't be. Yeah, that's right. Boxer has their first BBC card in the same day. Yeah, but come on, it's Boxer. Who gives a shit? But look, I know this is for a world title, but Joseph Parker doesn't belong anywhere near pay-per-view. They're banking on the idea that Fabio Wardley can pull off the upset. And I don't know. I'm hoping he does. Because Fabio Wardley can crack. He's very crude. He's still learning on the job, but he can punch and he's got a great chin. Let me ask you something, Toby. Have you ever seen Fabio Wardley ever get hurt? Ever?
Not really.
Have you ever seen him get shaken? No. He's got a granite chin. He's got heavy hands. What's not to like? I see him getting schooled in the first 6 or 7 rounds and see him landing something big when Joseph Parker starts to get tired. I'm hoping that happens anyway. Because Joseph Parker, man, dude, he can't sell out my living room on a Saturday night, guys.
Joe, and this is another reason why I think boxing has died out in the American market. They're obsessed with this old pay-per-view model.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's hideous, guys. It's so bad. But what are you going to do? These idiot promoters. I've got to get Eddie Hearn his flowers. No, you don't, because that's why we're seeing all this shit on pay-per-view. Al Heyman started this trend. And instead of learning from the mistake that Al Heyman made, he did the same exact thing, thinking that that's the only way I can attract talent in the U.S. market. And so we're doing the same thing. Turkey Al-Sheikh painted himself into a corner. That's why he's doing business with Dana White. Out of desperation, he's like, I don't know what else to do. And it makes it virtually impossible to put this on regular TV because their damn purses are way too high and they don't reflect their accurate market value. QT says, I think Usyk should just retire. Don't see a real threat for him at heavyweight. Honestly, I want to see the 2 heavyweight fights I want to see next year. I want to see Usyk either versus Caballel or Moses Itauma. And then I want to see Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. And I think both of those are actually going to happen.
Wouldn't you say, but Joe, wouldn't you say, this is an honest question, we always say that a guy like Deontay shot. Don't you think mentally AJ shot with he's completely shot now too?
Yes, I do. And I also think Tyson Fury's a big blob of shot as well. But who cares? We need to see that fight, guys. I mean, think about it. We need to see that fight. Think about this. I don't think Wembley Stadium, I don't think there's a stadium in the UK big enough for that one.
They would have to go. How big is the O2?
Here, listen, I want to give a big shout out to my sister Denise. Good to see you, sister. Thank you for joining us today.
Is the O2 arena huge?
Hold on, guys. We're getting off track. We're gonna go back to Boots Ennis. He has a real problem, though, Eddie Hearn. Guys, we already know that Boots Ennis is the elite of any division. Sky's the limit. This guy has such a high ceiling. He is so good. But Eddie's painted himself into a real corner here. He should have never offered Boots Ennis an extension, because he's going to run into the same problem that Top Rank did when they offered Terrence Crawford an extension. They can't get him the opposition. Eddie Hearn doesn't have anyone at 54. Who's he going to get? No, the WBA never had regular, or the WBO never had regular. That's a WBA. BA has 3. So theoretically, you could have 3 different champions from the WBA in the same exact damn division. The WBA interim, the WBA regular, and the WBA super. Ain't that some shit? Toby Bartlett says Usyk is going to keep going until he can get a fight in the Ukraine. Yeah, it's not going to happen. That country is in shambles, brother. Now, his best option is just to have another one in Poland, Krakow or something. That's the best he's going to do. Or is the winner going to become WBO? There is no WBO regular jump tube. Denise, she's got the beat. No one is going to be willing to fight him now, at least not for anything less than $3 or $4 million. Good job, Eddie. And how much you think Boots Ennis is going to demand? Hey, Therese, good to see you, man. He says, heard goodbye, magic. Now you're starting to sound like Bob Arum. I could have bought a beautiful house in Beverly Hills with the amount of money that I wasted on Terrence. Good to see you, my friend. But this is a real problem, guys. How much you think Sebastian Fundora is going to demand? Because according to Eddie Hearn, they offered Keith one-time Thurman, and he wanted probably upward near $10 million. I'll tell you someone who they could have gotten for probably under $3 million rock, and that's Bakram Murdazaliev. What happened there, Eddie? How come you didn't get Bakram? Guys, because I'm telling you, Boots would piece up Bakram Murdazaliev as well. That big cracker doesn't have anything, man, on Boots Ennis. Boots Ennis would sleep that big cracker. Yeah, Denise, he asked for 10 million rock. Who's he going to get? Virgil Ortiz? How much you think Goldie would demand to get Virgil Ortiz in the ring now? And how much you think Boots Ennis would expect to fight a guy like Virgil Ortiz after getting 3 million rock for fighting this stiff? This is a real problem for Boots Ennis, guys. And the only solution is, hey, Turkey, I need you to buy me out of my current contract. I want the good fights. I want the fights that Eddie and DAZN can't afford. But then you run into a problem. He's not a huge ticket seller, despite what his fans want you to believe. He's not worth the money, guys. Now, if Turki Al-Sheikh is smart and he's going to invest inflated purses, why wouldn't you want to invest in a guy like Boots Ennis, who has the ability to be the biggest and best fighter in the sport, pound for pound? Guys, because you already can see it. Boots Ennis is going to be a pound for pound badass one day. He's got the chin. He's got the heavy hands. He's got the skill. He's got the athleticism. He's got it all, and he showed everybody. Within a minute and a half time, he showed everyone how good he is. He saw the pattern. He saw the footwork. He saw the feints. He's like, okay, this guy's doing the same thing over and over again in the first 30 seconds. I'm going to see if he takes the bait and tries to throw a two-piece down the middle. He did. Boots Ennis made him pay. It was brilliant. Therese. Now, once again, what's at 68? Bud Crawford? Yeah, how much do you think? Look, Bud's team has already stated, hey, it's gonna take $100 million for us to get back in the ring. Oh my goodness. Like, this has got to stop, guys. This is a serious problem. Guys, come on. No, Wardley and Joseph Parker are going to be fighting for the WBO. I think. Is it the WBO? Am I wrong about that? Is it WBO or WBA? I don't know, and I don't care. Denise is correct. Yeah, he should just retire. Absolutely. Go out on top, dude. Look, this is a real problem, though, guys. So let's take a break on this. We're going to revisit before we exit the show. But let's talk about... Oh, gosh, and it was just announced. Oh, Chingao, guys. We're going from one problem to another. In San Antonio, woo, boy, in the co-main event. Oh, geez. Erislandy Lara. Old man Erislandy is going to be defending his WBA title at 160 in a unification bout with Janabek Ali Manala. Guys, can you think of a worse style matchup in boxing, period? Why is everyone so excited about this? I'm going to ask you guys, can you think of a worse style matchup than Erislandy Lara versus Janabek Ali Manala? Two counterpunchers that aren't going to take the lead if their lives depended on it. They're going to be sitting there staring at each other. Guys, if you want to see how this fight's going to play out, go back and look at Erislandy Lara versus Austin Trout. It's the same darn fight. It's going to resemble watching paint dry, guys. I'd have a more fun time just being on here with you fine people. Oh, no. He's with, who's the Cuban from, who now has that little gym in Vegas? Erislandy Lara is with, oh, geez, what is it? I can't remember. He's the guy who's currently training Rolly, Joe Joyce. Yeah, what is his name? I can't remember his name, but he's a brilliant trainer. He just spreads himself way too thin. I'm already telling you what's going to happen, guys. It's going to bore the pants off of everybody. Like, go watch Vanya Smarterosian, another southpaw versus Erislandy Lara. That's how it's going to look. Yep. Thank you, Ismail Salas. Man, I'm having brain fart today. Thank you for that, Toby. Ismail Salas. Excellent trainer, but he spreads himself way too thin. That's who's currently training Erislandy Lara. Boy, and he looked great against a shot Danny Garcia. He looked also great against that stiff from Australia. But do you really think he's going to want to take the lead and let his hands go against a guy like Janibek Alimanala? Guys, this is going to be the worst fight of the year. And it's a unification. This is terrible, guys. Hold on just 2 seconds. I have to take this call, guys. Let me know what you guys want to talk about in the interim. Oh, guys, that was Thomas Triber. And we're going to be meeting at one of my former sponsors. They're not a sponsor right now. I'm going to try to get them back on board. Halftime Pizza. We're going to watch Monday Night Football there in about an hour. Isn't that nice? Okay. Yep, Champ Ross has the beat. Lara versus Zanabek will be sponsored by NyQuil. Yep. Yep. Thank you, LA. Appreciate you being here, my friend. Ismail Salas. Denise, I want to talk about how to get our beloved sport back ASAP. Look, first, you got to stop overpaying these guys. Once again, Promotions 101, and makes me sick when you have boxing guys like Chris Algieri and Dan Canobio. Oh, you know, I don't give Eddie Hearn my flowers. He's doing a great job promoting. No, he's not. Anytime you pay guys inflated purses that far exceeds their realistic market value, it never ends well for the health of the sport. Then we see what problem it creates. You cannot make the best fights possible. You can't make them happen then. It makes it virtually impossible to put together the best fights. After paying Jaron Boots 3 million rock minimum, how much do you think he's going to demand to get a real challenge in the ring? Like Brandon Adams, how much you think like I tell you what, that was a great suggestion by our brother Slide Encounter. That is a great job of matchmaking, my brother. But once again, are the fans going to be happy with Brandon Adams? That's a great matchup. But it's like Katsarakis, the Greek monster from Coach Ronnie's stable. Guys, it's like the fans are going to be happy with that. They want to see him fight the elite at 54. How much do you think he's going to demand to fight Fundora? Ortiz, the winner of Ortiz-Lubin. How much do you think he's going to want for those fights? Guys, this isn't good. Yes, I agree. Best prediction league in the whole internet. Absolutely. Denise, yep, you were there. Gogi and the late Don said exactly that. Yes, we all miss the Don, Denise. God rest his soul. We miss Gogi for that matter, too. I love Gogi, man. I hope he's doing well. Yeah, Virgil and Boots are arguing who the... Oh, see, here we go, guys. Jesus, I told you guys this was going to happen. Okay, so I told, like, JumpTube Thomas is from Chi-Town, right? He's from Hammond, Indiana, and that's right next to Chicago. Same metropolitan area, basically. And so I promised him I would be a Chicago fan tonight because they're playing the Cowboys' heated rivals, the Redskins. And yes, I'm calling them Redskins. So I'm going to be uncharacteristically rooting for the Chicago Bears. There it is. So we're going to have fun at Halftime Pizza. If anyone's in San Antonio, come back and join us. Say hi. We're going to be having a lot of fun, guys. So, yes. See what I mean? Jesus M has the beat. Now you've got these clowns complaining, arguing who's going to get the higher payday. A side. Oh, joy. You see what I mean, guys? When you inflate the purses of these entitled bitches. Now, come on. If Virgil Ortiz takes care of business against Erickson Lubin and knocks his ass to next week, what's the better victory? How much do you think he's going to demand? He's going to think he's the A side. Hey, you know what? I deserve the lion's share. What do you think you deserve it for taking care of my light work in Lima? Come on now. I've already been in Riyadh season, brother. I beat the shit out of Madrimov. I've got the better resume. I deserve the A side. Especially if he sells tickets in Fort Worth on November 8th. This is a real problem, guys. And it's going to, unfortunately, be on pay-per-view. I guarantee you the combined purse is going to exceed $10 million. And neither one of these guys are big ticket sellers. This is a problem. So, Denise, going back to what you were asking. That's right. Virgil fought 3 straight legit top 10 54-pounders in Boachuk, Madrimov, and now Lubin. You can't argue with that, guys. But once again, in this business, what determines A side? Your resume or your ability to sell tickets? Neither guy is a huge ticket seller, even though they're getting paid like they are. That's the problem, guys. So once again, how do you get the business back, right? How do you get control of the business again? You stop paying inflated purses. You pay these guys their realistic market value. And if they don't want to take it, then sorry, guys, you just don't fight. Kiss my ass and thanks for playing. That's the only way, guys, to get our beloved boxing back on track. That's it, guys. Because right now, it's like, why haven't we seen Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez announced? Because they're going through the same effing issue. This is a problem, guys. These entitled babies who couldn't sell out my living room on a Saturday night are demanding to break the bank. This is a problem. So, yeah, anyone who thinks Eddie Hearn is doing a great job promoting, I'm going to give him his flowers. No, he ain't shit. Joe, what is a legit market value for boots each? $1.5 million each, guys. That's all they deserve. If you pay over $3 million in combined purse, then guess what? It's going to be on pay-per-view. This fight. How do you now? Once again, if you're a promoter and a network, how do you expect anyone to see this stuff if you're not putting it on regular TV? How are you expected to build an attraction if it's not on regular TV? Do you guys understand now why it's such a big problem? I said $1.5 million, Holmes. Well, they won't take that. Well, then that's what you asked me what their realistic market value is. Are either one of those guys ticket sellers? No. $1.5 million is generous. Like, where do they think, if they're not ticket sellers and not big attractions, where do they think the money's supposed to come from? Guys, the money comes from the licensing fee of the network and ticket sales. Where's the money supposed to come from? They've grown so accustomed to expect these guys just to open up the checkbook and write whatever amount. Turkey Al-Sheikh has completely skewed the fucking market. Pardon my French. Ding, 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 ding. That's it. What did we just say in the outset of this show? When you pay out inflated purses, it never ends well for the health of the sport. Then it makes it virtually impossible to make the best fights a reality. That's what we're seeing. Unless Turkey Al-Sheikh pays guys exorbitant amounts of money, we don't see the best fights happen. That's it, guys. These assholes have painted themselves into a real corner. And out of desperation, who does Turkey Al-Sheikh turn to? The Darth Vader of boxing. The enemy, the devil, Dana White, the guy who's been trying to tank our beloved sport over the last 2 decades. Yep, that's it. Now they're sitting around waiting for Turkey. That dude, what do you think we've been saying this entire time? That this is potentially catastrophic for the sport in the American market. That's what we're seeing now, guys. I hope you guys appreciate what we bring to this show. We try to teach you guys the business of boxing and try to point out what needs to be improved in order for our business to start running like it used to. Why do you think networks are running for the hills whenever you just mention boxing? Oh man, Gary Shaw. Look, Gary Shaw was an excellent matchmaker, and that's how he got his start in this business, right? And Gary, unfortunately, he did the best he could with the limited talent that he had, but he was a boxing guy through and through, and I'll give him that, and God rest his soul. He was a real boxing guy and an excellent matchmaker at one time. Daisy, welcome to the show. Dana White will make his dreams come true, taking over the September and May holidays. Well, we don't know that yet, guys. We don't know that yet. Because I'll say this. If Terrence or Canelo end up fighting Jake Paul, Dana White's not getting anywhere near that event. Yeah. Talking pay-per-view buys. Yeah, today is like talking DVDs, VCR. Yeah, it's antiquated. It's obsolete. It's ancient. It's dinosaur talk. It's terrible. So where are we going to get the money? Toby Bartlett says, if the Ali Act says the promoter has to show all revenue to the fighter, surely they can see they're asking for too much money, Joe. That's right. But try convincing any one of these fighters and their respective managers to take less than their last performance. You try it. I have. And it never goes well. These guys, once you pay them that amount, they're happier retiring than ever getting in the ring and fighting for their fair market value. That's what I'm saying. We might need a reset. Dana White might have the answer. Hey, guys, let's start all over. Let's just sign new talent, pay them the realistic market value, and let's make them superstars. Let's give them the opportunity, and all of these entitled babies who demand way too much and are trying to put the sport out of business, let's just say, hey, guys, it's been an excellent career. It's been fun watching you. But whatever you were going to do, whatever you were going to accomplish in your career, it's already happened because we're not paying that. That's where we are, guys. And then you've got clowns like Algieri Well, I don't get Eddie Hearn. He's doing a great job. No, he's not. He is one of the many reasons why we are here, guys. And that's the reality. So on that note, guys, hey, have a wonderful Monday evening, everybody. Guys, this is a real problem. And then fans get up in arms and get upset. Oh, man, Boots ain't fighting the best. You know, dude, yeah, thank his promoter. He did this. Eddie Hearn did this, guys. He did this. Well, Jerron Boots Ennis didn't have to sign. Yeah, okay. A fighter's not going to sign with a promoter who's given him a $3 million minimum guarantee? Yeah. You give me one fighter who's not going to sign an extension for a promoter who's dumb enough to offer him $3 million guaranteed per fight, regardless of opposition. You give me one fighter who's not going to take that. That's a problem, guys. But that's where we are. So, hey, woo! I'll say this, guys. I cannot wait for November 8th. Golden Boy Promotions, guys. Virgil Ortiz. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Do you know how much Erickson Lubin is getting paid? Do you know how much he's getting paid for November 8th? This is a guy who everyone should be saying, hey, you know what? That's a real fighter. Erickson Lubin, no, he's not a big ticket seller. Do you know how much he's getting paid for this very dangerous assignment? Only $900,000. That's his realistic market value for an assignment this challenging. He's getting paid $900,000. Thank you, Golden Boy. Thank you, Erickson. Thank you, Virgil. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, JD, good to see you, my friend. It's a great one. You've got Floyd Schofield Jr. versus Jojo Diaz. Jojo Diaz coming off of that performance, eye-opening performance, literally and figuratively, over Regis Prograis. And then we've got David Stevens versus, Fulgham from Houston. Darius Fulgham. That's a great fight at 68. And they're both at that level. And I think you've seen again Josh Edwards. In my opinion, future heavyweight champion from America. He seemingly has it all, and he's going to be on that card. It's a great card, guys. If you're in the area, buy tickets. It's going to be outstanding. Very, very good card. Very reasonably priced. Now, that one, you could buy, compared to Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, you could buy a ticket for under $50. Guys, that's like paying for a club show. That's like paying for one of my fight cards. And see world-class boxing entertainment. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you rebuild the sport. Golden Boy, formerly one of the biggest attractions the sport has ever seen, and you know something's wrong when he says, yeah, you know what? These fighters need to start being more reasonable with their guaranteed demands. And this is a former fighter. That's how the sport gets back on track. When fighters are reasonable and the promoters are willing to work with them. That's what I'm talking about. Do we have to pay pay-per-view for this? No. Praise the Lord. That's what I'm talking about, guys. November 8th. Now, you look at Riyadh season. A couple weeks later, on November 22nd, it's understandable why this is on pay-per-view. But once again, what's wrong with the pay-per-view antiquated revenue stream? Everyone steals it. So that's guaranteeing that everyone involved, including DAZN, is going to lose their ass on this. Turki Al-Sheikh is going to be bleeding tens of millions of dollars on this. You got David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde. You got Bam Rodriguez. You got Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. This is expensive. But it's a great card. That's a problem, guys. Once again, it's, man, imagine how much David Benavidez is going to be asking. Yeah, that's what he said last time, Toby. Wasn't the last one supposed to be the last pay-per-view? Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah, it's his last one until it's announced. Manny Pacquiao versus Rolly Romero in Riyadh. You don't think that one's going to be on pay-per-view, guys? Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios in the co-main event? You don't think that's going to be on pay-per-view? Nah, you're high on crack then. That's in January. Guys, with that said, I'm getting calls right now, so I'm going to have to jump off. But JumpTube, he says they need to stream in a delayed live format where they can put ads in. Yeah, that's not going to happen. They're already doing that, brother, in the minutes between, like, DAZN is already doing that, guys. Putting ads in the minute between rounds. So instead of us here in the corner, we're seeing stupid ads. It's a pain in the ass. Oh, brother, we went over that already, JD. This is terrible. No, this one is. I promise. No more, Joe. Yeah, until the next one. Oh, look, JD, I love the main event. The co-main event. Oh, boy. The co-main event. Lara versus Janabek. It's going to be like watching grass grow, brother. In fact, I think watering my grass is going to be a lot more fun. And I'm going to ask you this, JD Spades. Can you think of a worse possible style matchup in boxing than Lara versus Janabek? Two counterpunchers waiting for their opponent to get off first. Tell me if you can think of a worse possible style matchup than this. It's going to be awful. It's going to be like watching paint dry. Yes, that's before taxes, brother. Teal versus Shakur. I tell you what, you can't tell them that. But look, I still think Teal versus Shakur is a much more exciting fight. And yes, that's a snoozer as well. Because at least Teal has the balls that take the lead. No more. In Turkey, you trust. Okay, brother. You be prepared for disappointment, my friend. But guys, I want to thank you guys for hanging with me. I've got to make it over to a halftime pizza before kickoff. I'm going to be meeting my brother Thomas Triber. Guys, come by and say hi if you're in the San Antonio area. We're going to be there at halftime pizza on Tezel Road. God bless all of you guys. If you missed any part of the show, go ahead and rewind now. But guys, look forward to tomorrow. I'm going to be with my brother J.R. Bell on his channel, The Boxing Source, with Coach Ronnie Shields. And then immediately following that show, I'm going to be on my channel with Rick Glazer. And we're going to get all of his thoughts on everything that I said. Yep. Thomas, the baby snatcher Triber. Yes, sir. Yes, and people still do give him shit for that. Daisy says, I honestly don't think Crawford has a chance to take out. Yeah, he's not that kind of draw. He's not that kind of draw, guys. But on that note, guys, have a wonderful Monday evening, everybody.
I
Rod Vachon Holdings proudly presents WaraWeek Radio Chats with Ring